So hello everybody, this is American Seagull Predictions, and I'm back with a new video. Today, I'm gonna talk about uh, Western Pennsylvania, the coal country part of Pennsylvania, and how it's very important to watch in 2022, and how it's basically the future of the GOP in Pennsylvania. Now, I could talk about Lackawanna County, the upper northeast part. I mean, this area is also staunch Democrat, and Trump started making progress here, but I think it mostly comes from the western Pennsylvania area. I think this is where a lot of the GOP support comes from. I know central Pennsylvania is still Republican, but yeah. And of course you got the Pittsburgh suburbs, which were once strongly Republican, but now they're not. But we're talking about the Pittsburgh area. Now, unlike the Philly area, Pittsburgh was more like economically populist. That's why they like people like Trump. Mondale basically spoke to them kind of like like Trump did, and yeah, but Reagan, even though he was popular, he didn't dominate with those voters, and he can't really communicate with those voters down there like Mondale did. And by the way, George H.W. Bush would do even worse, even losing Indiana County. And I'm going to go over the counties that I consider to be the old Mondale Trump block. It's Mercer, Lawrence, Beaver, Washington, Greene, Fayette, Westmoreland, Armstrong, and Cambria. I think that's how you say them all. I was gonna say put Allegheny, but Allegheny's still Democratic, and it's probably gonna remain that way for a while. Um, and then 1992 came around, and even more counties started to go in blue. However, I think that some of that was a fluke, as Bob Dole flipped rural Clearfield back. However, this would be the last time a lot of rural counties would vote in Western Pennsylvania would vote Republican. And this was basically the beginning of that, as Armstrong and Westmoreland officially flipped. Now, Bob Dole did do better than George H.W. Bush in any of his life. I think even better than Reagan. But as you see, the first sign of it was Westmoreland County falling into the Republican hands, and Armstrong was going rightward off a cliff at this point. It went from like D+1, I think it was like D+13 back in 1992, and then it went all the way to D+1, and then it finally went right over the R+16 basically. So that's how far Armstrong County was going right off a cliff. And Westmoreland County being a strong New Deal county, I talked about it in another video before, but it basically moved rightward off a cliff as well. And it basically, even though Bush still failed to win the state overall, it kept the margin somewhat narrow due to Westmoreland. And after this, Westmoreland would continue to exceed its margins, but Biden would make some progress back. But again, it's still like an R+30 county. It's still an R+30 county. I won't be surprised if Doug Mastriano could win it by like R+30. And then you keep going here. 2004 came along, and even more counties flipped Republican in this corner. I'm not gonna leave Cambria because for some reason Cambria kind of went flip completely at the end. It would actually flip back, but we're just gonna go here. Mercer, Lawrence, and Greene County. Greene County, I think, was a pretty big gun county back in the day, and it even voted against John Hines in one election, even when he won a landslide electorally. And Lawrence County, home to Newcastle, now solidly Republican. Mercer County, actually, I drove through there to go to Edinburgh, PA, but again, it's not like your typical Mondale County anymore. It's a Trump Democrat county, home to Sharon. It's right near the Youngstown and Warren, Ohio area. That area is very working class. But Mercer was the first one to fall, basically, in I guess that Youngstown area. I guess you could count Lawrence County in it too, but that was basically another good sign that I could see it. And the Greene County going red for the first time in like 1972, that was a huge news at the time. Even though it's a rural county, it can still make a pretty big difference, not gonna lie. 2008 came around, and even more counties would flip. 3 more counties, even as John McCain sucked badly, and he lost by like over 10 points actually. And but surprisingly, he did campaign up there a lot. I mean, everyone was talking about how he campaigned there like 32 times in the general election. Yeah, he still lost badly due to the Rust Belt policy and that. But my gosh, he was able to flip 3 more counties, so at least he could get that out of the way. At least he won Beaver County, which, by the way, gave Mondale 26% of the vote. That I mean, he won by 26 points. Washington County, I think, is like the most populated county that Kerry McCain counties. I mean, Kerry McCain counties. Fayette County also staunchly Democratic, with would back a Republican, a Democrat, even in a landslide back then, but it officially flipped into Republican hands. And Fayette County, this was pretty big. Not gonna lie, this was probably pretty big at the time. But even though it was narrow, it was a victory. And Washington County went all the way to uh, 5 points basically. And then finally in 2012, Cambria County, the last of the Mondale coalition, would finally flip, even though it did vote for George Bush in 2004, but officially flipped. Cambria County, home to Johnstown, very working class, finally flipped, ending the streak of New Deal of alignment counties, which basically were staunch Democrats and even basically delivered the Democrats to winning, but they finally fell in the early 21st century, and then finally, now you look at 2020 now. Beaver County is the only county that's part of the coalition that isn't that's still in 50%, and even then there's like a 16-point win. Every other county, even some counties are even in the 70% range, but most of them are in the 60% range, and then you got Beaver that's still in the 50s. I expect Beaver to probably go over 60 and beyond. A lot of these other counties aren't completely maxed out. And I bet Westmoreland County might even get close to 70 in the future. I won't be surprised if Douglas Mastriano could actually get pretty close to that. Probably not going to get 70, but I think someone like Doug Mastriano is going to do well there. Oz, on the other hand, he might lag behind a bit, but I think as long as Trump goes with him, I think he's going to do well enough. Anyway, he doesn't have to exactly hit the Trump numbers in a lot of these counties. He doesn't have to succeed them. Someone like Doug Mastriano would probably have to succeed them Trump numbers, but Oz doesn't exactly have to succeed Trump numbers in a lot in these counties, because I think the Philly suburbs are going to probably come out. They're still going to vote Democrat, but they're probably going to do way better than Trump did in a lot of these counties. I wouldn't be surprised if we could crack 40% in Delaware County, which would be pretty big, but I think it's possible. And I won't be. And remember, Oz is probably going to do pretty well in the Philly area, as Fetterman's more of like a Pittsburgh guy. But I think at the end, I think it'll help him out both. And I think Trump rallies will definitely energize the base overall in central Pennsylvania. So yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll do a video on the Philly suburbs tomorrow. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. American Steel Predictions out.